Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Coffee with Carl. I'm your host, Carl Zoellner. I'm one of the attorneys with Anderson Business Advisors, and today's subject we're going to talk about is homestead exemptions. This question comes up a lot at our events and on Platinum Portal for our Platinum clients who can ask questions for, $35 a month. So I want to address that homestead exemption because it does come up a lot because it is very different from state to state. Now, most common, we like to talk about the homestead exemption states that have unlimited exemptions. Most popular states we tend to deal with are going to be Florida and Texas with the unlimited homestead. What a homestead exemption is it's a state law that protects the equity in your property. So in Texas, say if I had a $10 million house and it was all paid off, every cent of that equity would be protected from judgment from creditors. Okay, so this is a powerful tool and it's a statutory tool that's available to us. But some states or most states don't have unlimited homestead exemptions. So we need to look at those individual states and what those exemptions are when we're structuring your business entities, because some folks out there will choose to go ahead and use an LLC for their homestead in their state. Another thing to address when we talk about homestead exemptions is in a lot of places, even if the homestead is low, the homestead exemption will also give you some tax benefit, especially when you're talking about, city and state and local taxes as well. So it's another piece we need to look at before we put your personal residence in an LLC. I generally don't think that putting your personal residence in an LLC is a great idea, simply because I think it's a little bit of a stretch to claim a business purpose for it. But there is some circumstances where it may make sense. Say if you're also Airbnb-ing your personal residence or things of that nature, maybe it makes sense, or you're running a home business out of your house, things like that. But that's really leans more towards the tax side. So when we talk about homestead exemption, like I said, it's really about what the state offers in protection of your equity. Now, sort of our favorite punching bag and sort of every asset and tax person's favorite punching bag is California. So anybody on here from California, just so you know, your homestead exemption is $75,000, which means they're going to protect about as much equity as probably the car parked in your garage at this point. California is not very friendly for business or tax planning, but there are a lot of options, especially if you're a high W-2 earner, that we can look at and help you with some of those issues. So when we talk, like I said, when we talk about homestead exemptions, it's really about protecting the equity in those properties by state law. And say in unlimited homestead states, most times attorneys and other creditors won't even try to attach your personal residence to that. Now, a couple exclusions to that, or a couple notes on what's not excluded from the homestead. Normally, your homestead protection in almost every scenario won't protect you from such things as your primary mortgage holder, things of that nature, because if it did, it would be almost impossible to get a mortgage in that state. So even in Texas, if your primary mortgage holder wants to foreclose, they can take your homestead. And in Florida, there's an interesting one where we talk about that the law actually reads, if you rent your homestead for 30 days in 2 consecutive years, then that homestead can be abandoned. So we need to look at that in Florida too, especially if you're looking to Airbnb a property. So those are some different little items we can look at. Really what you need is somebody to take a look at your overall picture to make sure you're set up correctly and not violating some of those items. So as always, please give us a free call if you're not a client. We're more than welcome to have a free consultation with you, as well as if you are a client, get a hold of us anytime. Don't forget to take advantage of all of our free material on our YouTube channel. Don't forget to catch Toby on Tax Tuesdays, and I look forward to seeing you next episode. Thanks for joining me with Coffee with Carl.